And we are back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Cam's Corner. 31 away from 100. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support throughout the 3 seasons that I've been able to put out content for you guys. I mean, we've been able to produce a documentary, do a lot of in-person stuff. So ranging the YouTube channel, growing the audience even more day by day. So again, just from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all the support throughout everything. Season 3 is going to be special. I can't wait to put out all the content that I have in the vault already stored up, and a lot of new things to come. I can't give away too much yet, but these last few years have been amazing being able to put out content for you guys. So keep running it up, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, because season 3 is about to be even bigger than season 1 and 2. So without further ado, let's get into the first episode with Shammgod Jr.
People love him already. He's got the Rhode Island twang.
The long pass to Moore and a pin block from Martin.
Tune in to Cam's Corner.
He's going to make it here.
Draws the foul for another Rhode Island and one.
Podcast his own podcast.
It's good off the backboard and in. On a break.
We are back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Cam's Corner. Today, joining me for the second time on Cam's Corner, NBA G League assistant coach of the Delaware Blue Coats, Shammgod Jr. So, Sham, I appreciate you for coming back on. Like I said, man, how's it been?
It's been good, man. It's been good. Just keep on, progressing over this last year. Try to do a bunch of different things, some of the same things, and, just keep on growing and elevating in my coaching career.
Yeah, right. And first off, congratulations on becoming a G League champ. I mean, this past season was the first one in franchise history, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. And looking back, the last time we talked was after your first full season, and your hire was back in October of 2021. So, from the 2 seasons now that you've been a part of the G League, how have you seen yourself grow as a coach?
I think just learning the NBA, learning the different offenses that most teams use, learning the players, and just understanding, the situation that they're in, being in the G League and trying to make it to the NBA, and then the guys that are like on NBA contracts that are down there that are trying to, stick in the NBA and be in the NBA for a while. So I think that's the main thing. And then just being more comfortable with, my coaching voice, moving to the G League and not being around like college guys anymore, dealing with professionals, was a lot different in the first year. But this year was much better for me, and I understood more of what I was trying to get accomplished and what I was trying to do. And I think that just being comfortable and just understanding what you're doing more allows you to be more confident in what you have to say and what you have to do. And I think that that's like the main way that I've grown from, year 1 to year 2.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously both years are different, like you said, but is there, has your position changed in any kind of way, or has it kind of been the same throughout?
No, not so much. Just doing a lot of the stuff that I did before, just doing it better,
Right.
And doing it, to a higher level, because this isn't my first year anymore. Now I know kind of what I'm in for. I know kind of the ins and out of the players that I have, and things like that. So just trying to do everything that much better. I think was a big thing, especially because we made it to the championship last year and we lost. So this year for us, we didn't focus so much on winning the championship, but we just focused on doing a lot of the stuff that we did the year before, but just doing it that much better.
Right. And so now with the summer league coming up, that was like your first real like taste of everything last year. So what's your role going to be now this year with the summer league coming up in a few weeks?
A lot of the same things. I mean, things are different, a little different here now because Doc Rivers got let go and, Nick Nurse came in. So it's a lot of moving parts right now. So a lot of us don't necessarily know the exact things that we'll be doing because they'll be different. Nick Nurse will have, his own system, and he'll want to do things a little bit differently than Doc Rivers did them. So it's just learning what Nick Nurse wants and the offensive style that he wants, and then just figuring out ways that you can, find 2 or 3 players and help them learn that so that when the season comes around, then they can help the team.
Right. And even though being under the G League, obviously with a different head coach, were you still able to like learn and gain a lot of like knowledge off of Doc Rivers throughout those 2 years?
Yeah. I mean, we go up to the facility and we see the stuff that Doc Rivers talks about. We see what he emphasizes. We see the reason why he wants to run the certain offense that he runs, the reason why he just emphasizes and harps on the things that he harps on. And then that way you're able to take that back to the G League and you're able to kind of mimic it in a way to where when Jaden plays with us and then he goes up to the Sixers, it's kind of the same thing. He's hearing the same things. So you try to, when you go up to the facility and you hear Doc speak and you hear Coach Cassell that was there, Coach Yeager that was there, and you hear the things that they, hop on from a offensive standpoint, a defensive standpoint, then it makes it easy for you to teach that to your team. And when guys go up to the Sixers, then they just integrate really well.
Right. And talking about head coaches too. I mean, last time we talked a lot about Joe Mazzulla, and obviously from that whole year, like, a lot has changed since we were able to talk.
Yeah.
And when the news broke about him becoming the head coach of the Celtics, the interim head coach, what was your reaction to all that news?
I'm just happy for him. I mean, I think everybody who knows Joe knows the amount of time that he puts into what he does and how passionate he is about coaching and helping, young dudes get a start and, progress in the NBA. And I think that all of that hard work and all of that dedication just paid off for him at the right time. And, when I heard, I was just super excited for him. And I knew that he was going to do a good job because, he puts the time in.
Yeah, for sure. And hearing that news, seeing someone you worked, so closely with over the years and now at that level, how much does that motivate you to kind of reach new heights in your coaching career?
I'm a lot. I always tell Joe that he's like the starter for us, just to see him start from where he started from and to see kind of what he went through to get to where he's at now. It always helps. I know it helps me. I know it helps other people who've been around him who are trying to, pursue this career and keep on going. I think that it's just easy to see when you see a person that might not have been like handed everything, somebody who had to work hard, who puts the time in, who was where you was at. Then it's easy to know that you can get there one day.
Yeah, and it kind of, for both of you guys too, it's been happening like really, really fast. Like Joe's only 34 years old, fresh out of like everything. Like it just happened so fast. And for you too, now a champ, like everything is happening so fast. So do you go to him for advice for a lot of things as well still?
Yeah, man, a lot. There's certain times throughout the season where I'll be dealing with a player or I'll be dealing with, a certain situation. And I'll just talk to him and ask him, how do you handle this situation? How did you handle this situation? And sometimes he'll just tell me like, exactly what you're doing, believe in what you do, believe in the work that you put in, and just attack it, and just having him say that to me, is a big blessing to have somebody whose career is moving like you said it is, and to be in the positions that he's in. And when I text him or something, he still texts me back. He still hits me with wisdom. He still tries to talk to me and, worries about how I'm doing too. So that's just a big thing to help me. And it helps me to like keep going every single day.
Yeah. And when you say, he tells you like, oh, you know what you're doing. Like, how to do stuff when you're asking him for advice. That sounded just like his dad. Like, obviously we talked a lot about him before. I don't know if you saw, but I was able to make a documentary on him. I premiered it a couple months ago.
That was tough. That was
I
tough.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
I put a few clips in from our interview. You talking about him with the red shirts from Fairmont.
Fairmont, yeah. That was tough. I enjoyed that.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
But going back to this past season, you had the chance to coach another group of very talented young guys. Obviously, one of those guys that stands out is Mac McClung. And as a coach and mainly what you focused on last year, I'm sure it was the same a little bit this year, was player development. So how rewarding is it to see guys like Mac and, continuously getting better in that coaching system that you're a part of?
I mean, it's great. Like Mac for one, is somebody who he walks around with like a chip on his shoulder. He wants to be an NBA player. So those guys are easy to work with because they hold themselves at such a standard that it's easy for you to hold them to that standard. You know, Mac Mac is somebody who's very confident in himself. He's somebody who puts the work in, who is a professional's professional. Like he's a true pro. He really comes in and he works on his craft. He works on his body, and he wants to get to the heights that he knows that he can get to. So even something like the dunk contest, which like that's something that's personal for him, right? That's not like a team thing, but it's just good to see him be able to get that kind of recognition and to be able to, you know, to me, like be an inspiration to so many people because he is an underdog. He is somebody who people necessarily wouldn't say that he would make it. And he comes in every day and he puts the work in, he puts the time in, and he took so many strides this year from a standpoint of like just being a better basketball player, just being a better teammate, just being all around better guy. And I think that showed a lot in the championship and making the championship run. I think he went from somebody who wasn't necessarily able to like really run or organize a team. And I think that when we made our championship run, we wouldn't have been able to do it without him and without his selflessness, without him being able to play in the flow of the game. And also when we needed him to take over, he took over. So I think just him finding that balance between being a scorer, being a killer, and also, being a facilitator and being a good teammate, being an organizer, I think was a very, very big step for him. And I think that the reason why he will be an NBA player and stick is because he's able to adapt and he's able to find situations and then get better. He always finds ways to keep on getting better.
Yeah, did you see him as like kind of like a role model to like the other young guys coming in? Because like you said, I know he adapts to stuff quickly. So did you see him with all the rookies that came in, kind of someone to look up to, like you said, to be able to accomplish the things that he accomplished in such like short time?
Yeah, I mean, and that's up to the people who are coming in after him to see, because he's not like a flashy guy. He's not somebody that's really gonna like throw it in your face or anything like that. He's just somebody who, if you want to be a professional and you want to carry yourself like a professional, then you should look at the way he carries himself. Like he take care of his body. If he wants to work out, he's gonna be there for the workout. He's gonna ask you to work him out. Or sometimes he'll just go out there by himself and he'll do certain stuff by himself. He has his own routines that he knows he needs to do to make sure that he's ready to play, make sure that he's ready for practice and stuff like that. And I think that that's one of the biggest things in being a professional is just having your own routine and knowing what gets you going.
Right.
And a lot of people have that.
Yeah. And even though like your main focus like coming in was to focus on those rookies that were coming in, like, obviously you're like assisting the entire team at the end of the day too. So I was looking at the roster, like somebody like Patrick McCaw, who's an experienced player, 3-time NBA champion. Like, how different is it to coach guys and guide guys like him, opposed to the young guys like you coach usually more often?
I mean, it's great. Like I said, people like Pat, Mac, those guys have Pat more so than a lot of people because he has been in it. He's been on championship teams. So as much as I help him, he helps me, right? Like I'll ask him questions on, what did Steve Kerr do? What did Nick Nurse do? What was the difference between, those championship teams and this team and stuff like that? And it's great to have people like that to bounce stuff off of, because he's a veteran. He understands the moment. He understands the time. He's another guy. He's a pro. Like you don't necessarily have to worry about Pat because he's gonna come in. He's gonna get his stuff done, and then when the game time comes, he knows what gets him going. He knows how he affects the team, and he's able to do that. So this year we didn't have very many rookies. this year. We had a lot of guys that were, older guys and guys that we could bounce stuff off of, but it was a much different team than it was the year before. So just trying to adapt to the team that we had this year and not focus so much on last year because last year we did have a really good team, but now we don't have the same team.
Right. And like we talked about, like two different dynamics. Like Pat's an NBA veteran, somebody like Mac is a rookie. Like looking at like a whole roster and things like that throughout your entirety of your career, not just in the G League too. Like, what do you feel like the toughest part of being a coach has been so far?
That's a good question. I mean, the toughest part about being a coach, I would say, and it's just building that relationship, and it's not so much tough. It's just understanding, different people come from different backgrounds. Different people like to be coached different ways. So I would say, at the end of the day, it's basketball. So you guys have that kind of common ground, and it's not hard to teach when you know what you want to teach. But what it is hard to do is build a relationship with each player to the point where you could yell at a certain guy, you could talk to a certain guy. You have to deal with each player different ways because they're all different people. So I think that's probably like the biggest thing that you have to learn, and it also is the hardest thing because you have to be genuine with these guys. You have to have genuine conversations. You have to genuinely know what this person likes, what this person likes. And then that way, when you talk to somebody or when you challenge somebody in that setting, it's easier for them to deal with it and be the best version of themselves.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about like from your player perspective, like a lot last time we talked, and how that kind of changed. I was wondering if that still kind of clicks in your head sometimes, like in crunch time situations, or like do you think of like, if I was a player, like what would I be kind of doing in moments like these, or what kind of goes through your head in like moments where you got to kind of think on the fly and things like that?
I don't so much think about what I would do because I wasn't as good as these guys are. But what I try to do is I just try to think about the things that we work on. So I try to, in different situations, if it's the end of the game and we need a 3-point, okay, who is our best pressure 3-point shooter? What's our best way to get him open? What has been the best way to get him open all game? Things like that, or somebody got it going. We haven't gotten that person the ball in a couple possessions. So now when we come in, it's like, okay, what plays do we have to get that person the ball? Who can I talk to on the team that can put that person in a perfect situation for them to, get an easy basket? So I think that's the main thing that I think about now is just what are things that we worked on, what are things that we did to actually put us in the best situation to win the game at the end of the game. What are certain matchups? Who's been guarding who well? Okay. If somebody's been like killing us, what are certain things that we can do to slow them down? Should we double team a ball screen? Should we switch the ball screen? Should we try to go to zone? Should we do this? So just trying to think of different situational things and figure out what's the best way for us to, be effective and win games down the stretch of games.
Right. And then now looking at this season alone, you win the East again like you did last year, kind of back in the same spot. Like, what's the mindset like going into the second half of the season, like after the showcase and everything?
So this season was a lot different. Last year for the Showcase Cup, I think we were 14-1 at the beginning of the season. We won the Showcase. We had it rolling. Once the second half of the season started, we lost a couple games because we didn't have a lot of players, and then once we got our players back, we just started rolling again. This year was a lot different because we weren't really good during the Showcase Cup, and we had a lot of moving pieces. We had a lot of players going in, going out. So just going into the second half of the season, it was just, okay, what are 3 things that we got better from the beginning of the season up until the showcase. And how do we take that? How do we bottle that up so that when we start the season 0-0, we won't get off to a bad start and we could just start, rolling. And I think it helped us as a coaching staff because last year we were just rolling and it was easy. This year we had to find different things. We had to switch up our offense. We had to figure out different ways to be productive. And I think that that helped us in the second half of the season, just focusing on like 3 key things and moving into the regular season, just making sure, okay, we have to do these 3 things on offense. We have to do these 3 things on defense. And it kind of simplified it for the guys and it helped them to just trust in it and trust in each other. And then we got rolling and we got clicking at the right time.
Yeah, and fast forwarding to those finals, it comes down to the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, which for those people who don't know is Houston's G League team, and it was you guys. So now you were in that same exact position last year. You guys ended up falling short, but now, kind of just describe your mindset throughout that entire game because I wasn't able to watch the game, but looking at the score, looking at some of the box scores, close game, 114-110. You guys came out victorious. Just kind of, talk me through the game and like what it was like. Were you revisiting some memories from back like last season and coming up short? Just kind of how was that for you?
Yeah, so we played the first game because it's best out of 3. So we played the first game at home. We won. And after we won the first game, it was just more like, okay, we don't want to travel there to not win it there. They won on our court last year, and they did a lot of celebrating. They, like the one kid stomped on our logo and like did all that. So as much as we didn't really think about it because they had a different team, so these are not the same people that you went against last year. But we also wanted to make sure that we won, on their home court for a little revenge. We wanted to make sure that we didn't play around with the moment, and we wanted to, take full advantage of being up 1-0, having the guys that we thought could win it, and we wanted to just go there. And we wanted to take care of business, and I think that it's a testament to the guys to be able to stay locked in, to be able to know that we had a goal in mind, and them come out and play hard and really just have that killer mindset to go into a great atmosphere and be able to take care of business from the start of the game.
Yeah, and as the game came to an end and the final buzzer sounds, like how did it feel to be crowned champs? And what was that moment like for you after that?
Oh man, it's always an amazing feeling. I mean, when you win any kind of championship, I was fortunate enough to win a couple, and get a couple rings and things like that at the college level. So I just think, I mean, there's honestly no better feeling. You get to hold on to that until the championship next year. And you get to have something that you'll be remembered for in history. I don't think no matter what level you're at, if you can win a championship, I think that it's amazing. You're crowned the best in your league at what you do. And for me, it was just, it was an amazing, amazing feeling to be able to, especially after we went through the year before, being able to see them celebrate in our home gym, being able to go so far and then just finish it short. I think that this year was just honestly a surreal feeling, and to be able to do it with some of the people that we had the year before, and to be able to do it with the coaching staff that we had and all of the travel staff, all of the people that put so much into it. It was just unreal.
Yeah, and like we said too, like the first championship in franchise history. I mean, that's like you said, it's cool to be a part of history, cool to be a part of something like that at any level.
And we're the first team. We were the first team to win the Showcase Cup and win a G League championship. So like that was cool. That was a cool thing to be a part of, to do. And like you said, it's something that'll go in history. So I'm always happy with being a part of history.
Right, for sure. And going back kind of full circle from the beginning of the episode, now 2 full seasons in the G League and, having some college experience as well. What do you think the plan going forward for you in the future is? Do you think you'll be sticking around the NBA, or do you kind of just play it by ear, see what happens? Like, what's your main goal at the end of the day?
I mean, my main goal, honestly, is just to keep growing as a coach. Wherever it kind of takes me, I'm fine with. I just think that I have to constantly find ways to keep on growing. I have to find ways to, whether that's in college, whether it's in the NBA. I think it's just trying to keep on elevating myself, not being satisfied with what I'm doing, but trying to make sure I'm keep on growing and I keep on learning things so that ultimately when it's my chance to be a head coach, then I do the best that I can do because I've learned so much from so many great coaches and so many different people.
Right, for sure. And that's why one of the main reasons why I still do this podcast is because I've learned from so many people, like not even just from my what I want to do as a profession, but like you said, there's preaching to the choir, like just always trying to get better and better every single day. And I love that message. I'll always stick to that message. And few speed round questions I want to ask you before we cap things off. I've been trying to do at the end of every episode. What's your favorite place that you've played in so far? Favorite arena you've played in so far, and why?
I would have to say probably Rio Grande. Rio Grande, I mean, we've been there twice, and the 2 times that we've been there, it's been amazing, amazing, amazing crowds. And we won a championship there. So, I mean, that's always the ultimate.
Right. And I don't know if you want to say this one, but toughest guy you've had to coach over your career?
Toughest guy I had to coach. I would probably say dang, that's a tough. No. I could say it.
Yeah.
It. That's not why.
Right.
It's just because I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the person who challenged me the most.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah, the person who challenged me the most to I would probably say maybe Julian Champagny.
Was that in the G League?
Yes. So he was in the G League. He plays for the San Antonio Spurs now. He challenged me because he's such a good player and he's such a like smart guy that when you do stuff with him, you have to know what you're doing. You have to explain stuff to him. And also because you have to he's such a guy that's based off of like he challenges himself so much that in turn you have to keep on finding ways to try to challenge him. You have to find ways to keep him grounded. You have to find ways to instill confidence in him because he wants it so much that sometimes he's too hard on himself. So yeah, I would say Julian.
Yeah, it's probably cool to see like where those players are at too in their career, like after everything's all said and done.
Yeah, definitely.
But kind of a little bit along that line, one of the funnest guys to watch play throughout your coaching career.
Funnest.
Like someone that's kind of like always like in a great mood and one like they bring that energy to the court as well too.
Oh, okay. I would probably say it's a kid that we had this year. He was a rookie. His name was Aminu Muhammad. He went to Georgetown. He played with us this past year, but he is like one of the most confident people that you will ever meet. I'm pretty sure that this year in the G League, he had probably the most points scored in the least amount of minutes. But funny guy. Always ready to go. Every time we put him in the game this year, like every time you would call him from the end of the bench, his first thing he would say, he'd be like, "Oh shit, you calling me? Come on, let's go." And then he would like that's how he would like get himself going. But super funny guy. And just always was grateful to be able to play basketball, you know.
Yeah, and to kind of cap things off, your dream head coaching job.
So I would say Fairmont State is one, just because that's my school. So it would be really really cool to coach there, and then I would say New York Knicks. You
Let's
know,
go.
New York. I'm from New York. I mean, I think that every kid from New York either dreams about playing in Madison Square Garden, coaching Madison Square Garden, doing whatever, you know. So I think that that's like the ultimate goal.
I tell people that like all the time. Like my dream, that's my dream, is to be calling games at Madison Square Garden one day. Like
It's
Mike Breen,
amazing.
man, I've been looking up to him since I was like little. Like that was like
Yeah,
my dream, to be in that era. And man, that'd be sick. That'd be awesome one day.
that'd
But
be dope. That'd be dope. Yeah, for real.
like I said, man, I appreciate you for hopping on again. I mean, I'm glad that we could stay in touch. Glad that we could chop it up again about everything that's happened. I guess kind of cap things off again. Just what do you think the second time around, and who much you want to see as a guest in the future?
I mean, I love it. I love what you're doing. Like I said, the whole thing that you did for Joe's dad, I thought it was amazing. I think that every time I see one of your interviews, it just keeps on getting better. So that's a testament to you and the work that you put in to what you do. And it's amazing to see, just how far you've gotten and what you're doing. So definitely keep that up.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
And I mean, hopefully you can start getting, some of the Celtics players and some of the best dudes from up there, to keep on growing yourself and growing your platform. So I would love to see that for you. And I hope it for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, my boy Ed Lee, he just signed with the Patriots, and
Okay.
I'm working down at a news station in Rhode Island. So we covered like mini camp, and like the opening OTAs of the season. So I'm not going to be back there until training camp, but to see him there and be able to interview him, go to the same school as him, and like it's cool. I'm gonna have him on once training camp starts. I can't do nothing yet, but it's cool. So
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. And I mean, just keep on growing it, keep on building it, and as long as you stick with it, I mean, I'm pretty sure that one day, you'll be able to get to, exactly where you want to get to.
again, it's a pleasure to be able to talk to you, man. Thank you so much.
No, definitely, definitely.